quickly in the morning for a roommate.
I was so conscious doing them in my house because there's like other people, but I was like, I don't care.
I know this is the same thing like in my place. I'm always like, shut up. It's like 2 in the morning here. Yeah.
But the hums, you know, the hum, that's easy.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, as usual, the way it works is previous week is an over-exaggeration that we build the musculature of that foundational aspect of singing. So last week we're working on resonance. So the new resonance building routine, which we're going to do on a daily basis, from now on, it's going to be just the bing bang bong up the scale, and then just bing bang bong silence. You don't have to do the hums very much anymore. I mean, you can if you want to, if you feel like I need a little bit extra more warming up with the bing bang bongs, it'll be just fine. And then also to that singing to the passaggio part where you guys have access to audio power is fine. Yep. And those two things, that's going to be part of the resonance. Like I said, also still doing that daily breathing of the 5 minutes of, and the song, and then also trying to do it in a squat, and then also box breathing, where 10 seconds in, 10 seconds hold, 10 seconds out. So real quick, just to get us extra more up, because it might have been 30 minutes or so since any of us have done any singing. We're just real quick going to do we'll make it 3 minutes on a squat. So we'll do 3 sets of 1 minute.
Of what?
3 sets of 1 minute on a squat. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Done.
Bang, bang.
Bongo.
Oh, that was good.
First one coming
Yeah. Okay, I actually say for the sake of time, because actually I do really want to go into deep on the main thing. I think that will cover us for the breath.
That's good, yeah. I think
Um,
that was good.
And real quick to quickly get the vibration warmed up, let's do the bing bang gongs. breath.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
well,
about, can we just do the 1, 2,
And
and
you
just
were,
do slower?
you're like, you're down an octave and we're singing an octave higher.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, yeah, I've already hit my massage.
Yeah.
Oh,
am I down octave from both of you?
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah. You were down octave a little bit there.
Yeah, I already hit my massage in my throat.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just getting started. But yeah.
Yeah. And I apologize for going a little bit too fast on that one. Yes, we'll let's take it back to here and we'll go a little bit slower. Like I said. Okay, and then now real quick, we'll just do 5. We're going to do these like extra rapid. So here's another technique that if like you're in a serious hurry, like I said, I still want you to do the full one, but it basically you do 2 squats within 1 siren. That like extra charge it up. It's like doing it like twice the effectiveness. Okay.
Sure.
So we're going to do just 1 of each, 1 being, 1 bang, and 1 bong. But like double squats, like bing, like that.
Okay.
But also too, like at the same time too, we're gonna pause for like a split second here, so we get that core activated, and then up. So not like going like, because you're not gonna get the same like pause with that core activated. Okay. So bing. And it's okay if there's like that crack. That was most likely because you're running out of air.
I thought about that.
Yes. And bong. All right. How are we feeling now?
Pretty good.
Yeah, take a few seconds to catch your breath.
Yeah, I feel good.
It's not bad if you're feeling lightheaded, but just make sure you always pause and give yourself some air.
Yeah, that was partially my problem. Because like I'm used to doing the box breathing at a lower number and at a different angle, like when I'm going to sleep, but I had to do it for 10 seconds. And I tried to just power through doing it like back to back to back. By the time I got to the 3rd one, I wasn't sure if I was inhaling or breathing out.
Uh-huh.
And my mind was just like, whoa, what am I doing?
Yeah, so the other thing too is that it also like relaxes like your mind. It actually increases your focus a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do next year is these are basically going to be valve sirens. This is going to be hands down the most, and I mean the most effective thing that I could teach you guys. And this is also too what I would say 90% of vocal coaches and 90% of programs that I've been through do not teach about singing. Because I'm going to start out with like a little example here. So answer this question for me. How do you drive an invisible manual transmission car?
Switch gears.
Yes, you have to feel it, especially if it's invisible. And singing is like that. We're literally driving an invisible manual transmission car because there are different gears that the voice needs to get into at different notes. And just like how when you drive a manual transmission car, if you're trying to go at a speed that's fourth gear and you're in first gear, you're gonna burn that car out. And same goes for your voice. If you're trying to go for a note that's in your higher range and you're doing it with a lower range gear and you're not shifting that gear, not shifting the way you're shaping it in your body, you're gonna burn your voice out and damage it. The same thing goes the other way. If you're singing a lower voice note, but with a higher gear shaping with your body, you're not going to be able to sing that note with the right amount of power that it needs. So pretty much what we're going to do here is what's known as vowel modifications. We're going to do sirens, but with modified vowels on the way up, and it's going to be very, very subtle. Because like one thing a lot of famous singers do, like when you see them hitting like certain high notes, they're not actually singing the note with the same type of vowel we would if like we're speaking. Like, for example, like if someone was singing like really, really high, the optimal way to do it so that you have the right amount of gear shifting, between that passaggio, that chest voice mix and head voice, would actually be like a, but they do it so subtly, and also too because in our minds, like we're hearing the other phrases and the words of the song, it sounds like they're singing the actual vowel, like the regular, normal vowel.
Oh, I've experienced that in my head. Like sometimes, like U's are not just shaped out, so they kind of come out there like O's. O's.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
Okay, so, and like I said, as normal, we're starting here on the A's. We're going to do these regular before we do sirens, because I want to make sure that you guys are doing the shifting right. And before we do squats, because I want to make sure that you guys are doing the shifting right. So the first one that we're going to do here is it's going to be, we're going to start it on an A. And then on the way up, when you're reaching that passaggio part where you start to feel it tense, your car giving you the sense, oh, it's time to switch gears.
Yeah.
You feel some of that fighting. We're going to switch to an eh. And then at the very top, it can be a very, very subtle eh. And then you're going to switch it all the way to an ah. Ah. Ah, like apple. So like A like eight, eh like effort, and then ah like apple.
Ah, like apple.
I mean, I'm sorry. Hey, A
Ah,
like
like almonds?
apple. A like apple.
A like apple.
Yes. So it's going to sound like this.
Wait.
Or, I'm sorry,
It's supposed to be
I-
A or ah.
Yeah. It's not A as an apple. It'll be A as an
Apple.
April. Yeah. Like long sounding game.
Yeah, all right. sorry. I had a brain fart in my brain with what I was. It's A like eight, and then an A like effort, and then an ah like A
okay.
and I made a mistake with it improperly showing it to you. So like.
I feel like I'm gonna get to the end of that note
squats that's going to help combat that. But did you notice the was very subtle?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Like you, if I didn't tell you, you probably couldn't even notice that I was doing that
Uh-huh.
But like you just need to get that little shape with that
Shout.
to where it basically allows your body to relax,
Yeah.
transition, shift the gears, shift the resonance, and also shift the vibration of the vocal cords in the right way to allow that note to have the same power up as it did down. Okay? So, I want to hear you guys do it. You follow me. So, like and the And the thing is too, the little
That helps.
transition on the
That
it's
helps
going
a
to
lot.
sound different it's going to sound different for each and every single one of you. Because there's another thing too when it comes to singing those higher notes. Because each of you have a different passaggio, you're going to feel a different part where you need to switch the gears. Just like how, I might be wrong in saying this, I'm not a big car buff, but I'm correct with most different, cars when they're switching gears with manuals, each one's going to have a slightly different, exact optimal switching speed. So you're each going to have that optimal different switching speed. So that if you hear that subtle ah in him, it doesn't mean it's time for you to do that. Listen to the body. Because singing, like I said, it's more of what you feel than what it is that you're hearing. Okay? So we're going to try it.
I did feel that's like syncing up a little bit. So
Yeah.
That's not why you say that now.
Okay, so I'm gonna start it, but on the way up, I'm gonna drop out. So I want to hear intensely how you guys are doing. Okay, so. For these ones, I actually want you to pause after you've gotten to the top, because, like I said, this vowel modification, it's so important that you do it properly. Later on down the road, you can do it in one continuous cycle, but we want to isolate the vowel modification, okay? So, now from the top. Okay, yours had a little bit of crack.
Yeah,
or,
I went through some like exhaust poopy
yeah, like I said, because both of you guys know how to drive stick, right?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I know the concept in my mind.
Yes. Well, I drove stick before, and it was rough. Like, when I was first driving my stick, like, I was scared to death. And it was also like a really big old, like, beater car. But once I finally mastered it, I felt like a boss, to where literally I could drive stick, one foot here on the clutch, one foot on the gas, one thing on the gear shifter, and like I could eat Taco Bell, pop up my phone. Obviously, you shouldn't do that while you're driving, but like, I literally thought to myself, I initially thought, man, I'm never going to be able to literally do anything but drive while I'm driving this car. But I got so comfortable with it, that muscle memory was just built up so strong that like I didn't even have to think about it. Okay?
Yeah.
So because these are so important, we're going to go bit by bit on each and every single one of these, okay? So now I want you to do it one more time, all the way up, and then pause, and then all the way down. So,
Okay, I'm gonna close my ears.
no close your ears. Like I said, MC is about what you feel, but there still obviously is some of that hearing component in there.
You right.
Oh, we go back.
And then pause. Okay, yours is sounding really smooth.
Nice.
Yours, there's still a little bit of that crack there. Like I said, it's part of the learning. There's one other thing too that you're doing is, I noticed when we pause on the top, you're more easily able to instantly go into that higher range in your note. Versus like before, like in the previous weeks, like you'd struggle, you're like,
Yeah.
versus now it's just one low.
Yeah, I felt that.
And you guys also too, do you like feel like a little bit almost like, oh, my throat opened a little bit more?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The valley shaping thing helped me so much.
Mm.
If we're doing A the whole time, I don't think I would be able to do that.
Okay, and so now we're gonna do it together and on a squat. So
I'm gonna pause. Pause in between.
yeah, pause in between. Okay.
Okay, good stuff.
Sounds good. Okay, and then the next one is going to be an E as in eat to as in effort. And this one there's not going to be any middle bridging because that's a very easy vowel to bridge across different parts of your range. That's another thing too why there can be two songs in the same key, but you can hit one song's notes a whole lot easier just because of the way the words and the phrase and the vowels are having to sing in certain parts of the song. It's because there's certain parts for us to more naturally modulate as we go up. So E to A. I want to hear you do this one on your own one more time, Swan.
Okay. I got nervous.
You got it.
Mhm.
You got it.
Can you hit that note again? Is that it?
Yeah, that was it. You got it. There it is.
Yeah. That was a whole lot more connected.
No
Yeah,
cracks, man.
yeah. Teeny tiny little bit of crack at the start, but nice and connected. Okay, and now we're gonna do that one on a siren. Okay.
Okay.
So
On a squat.
yeah, on a squat. That had no crack in it.
Whoa.
Yes, glad you got out of that drug dealing, man. Mama told me don't sell no crack. You don't speak no crack.
Ah, no crack no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a joke.
I'm going back.
Get out of that crap.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So now next one is going to be I. So we're going to start out with I like ice cream, and we are going to transition to an like up, and then a I like intro. I. Okay. So hear me do it. It's. Okay.
That is very subtle.
Yeah, very, very
Yeah.
subtle. So, I want to hear you guys do it. I'll start, but halfway through, we're gonna cut out, see how you guys sound. Okay, yours was smoother with the like you shaped it a little bit better. Yours just barely, but I could hear a little bit of strain going on the way up. So just add a teeny tiny bit more. Little
I can feel it.
just a smidgen.
Okay.
Just a teeny smidgen.
Oh, I know what you mean. No, the reason why I say that is because now I understand what you mean. I was trying to think of the word of like the subtlety of the transition, and I think there's something in there I didn't catch right.
Yeah, like I said, just ever so slightly, a little more nudge on the
So can you do it one more time, please?
yeah, so.
Oh, even.
And also to notice how I'm changing like the vowel spacing is another thing too about like singing when you're transitioning higher. You need to think of as you're going higher, you're actually going lower, and you're having to go deeper within your body. That's why I mean the oh, like a little bit of that exaggerated oh, because I'm creating more space for the note to resonate in. Okay. So basically think of the low notes as you need to go higher in spacing, not pitch, higher in spacing, and the higher notes you need to go lower with where you're creating space. And one other thing too to allow you to go like lower on it is, I was gonna wait until like after, but I think it's more necessary I tell you this part now. So tongue placement when it comes to singing, this is another thing too. Like my choir teacher would probably like give me an F if I told him this in class. Like, but this was work for me, and I know it's gonna work for you. So most people will tell you just need to have your tongue in a nice relaxed like T till I go ta, ta, like that. So when you're singing like regular phrases, like in a very casual speaking range, yes, I'll use the ta like la da 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 da. But when you're going for those higher, more intense phrases, or you're trying to add a little bit more emotion, what you're going to do is you're going to take your tongue, and the first position is where it's going to be a ta, but you're going to push, anchor the tongue towards the front of your teeth, like you can back like it's like something like this is regular tongue. This is push forward tongue. I can hear it in your voice already. Like there's more clarity. So what that does is it releases more space back here for resonance. And then the other thing too is digging your tongue into this part here. I have this little area. Like so digging it down. So if I go here, this works on even like higher range notes. Like this is mostly for when you're doing like head voice. That's more for like mix. Sometimes we're using head voice. But more for some head voice type notes, where like, this is what it would sound like about it, like, and here's with it where I dig my tongue in. Beautiful. Yes, that was awesome. Hey, you try it. That was good, like a whole lot more power. Like that's where like that real power comes, like. Versus if I sang like. And the thing is like, it's not because there's any tension here. Like I'm singing totally relaxed. I'm not making enough room with my tongue to create the space. Like I said, I guarantee you, most vocal coaches, like if you tell them you're doing that, like no, they'll literally lose their minds if you tell them that you're doing that. But it is literally what is needed to create that right amount of space in the voice. Okay, and so like I said, we're gonna have that same two placement when we're modulating up here. Okay, so if we were on I. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys one more time because the design was a little bit harder. So you notice when on the way up, like how I did my tongue in there. Yeah, that's another reason too why my mouth is always wide open. Like I said, what good is all this actuation? What good is the proper resonation and vibration if we're not having the space to resonate? It's kind of why I like those the baby grand pianos sound more beautiful than just the upright pianos because it's a more open, wider, resonant cavity. Up once again. So. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, yours. Yours was a teeny tiny little bit on the way up, and then a teeny tiny little on the way back down. There was a little bit of that crackiness, but for the most part, very smooth. Yours was great on the way up, and the ground on the way down, but like in between, I noticed not a crack, but like a little skip, like where you just skipped a few of the notes. But like did you feel that sense in your body when you're doing like I said just get used to that feeling and the proper transition of overcoming it.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna try this on a squat. On the way down, you were sort of just pushing the voice a little bit too forward. So that was a little bit more on like the vowel shaping, not as much on the resonance. So Alexa, just remember, nice and relax. Okay, so the next one that we're going to do here is going to be an O like oval, to ah like awful, and then to ooh like boot. So it's going to sound like this. Okay, so now with me. Oh, it's a O to ah to ooh. Okay, so when we're doing this one, we're going to go a little bit tighter with, and I'm saying not tighter with like creating like tension, but just the right amount of squeeze into the ah, like ah, ah, like a baby on like ah, so precious, ah, and like.
Like the eyes hard, like the O, just getting that O, that O, and then oh, wow, wow.
It's a lot of different things. Good.
Yeah, there's a little, but this time it's like more of a, it's, you don't hear the but it's more you have a skip now, because that's basically how it works. Like you go from cracking to where you just go from skipping some of the notes, and then you're going to do it to where it's all nice and smooth, no cracking or no skipping. So let's try this one more time, and then we'll do another time on a squat, move on to the next one. Oh.